A soldier will fight long and hard for a piece of coloured ribbon. Connor pondered these words as he sat quietly on the statue's base, smoking a freshly rolled cigarette as he watched the morning stream of parents and children filter past it, undetected by the masses. All of them walk by the translucent convict without so much as a glance, all except for a little Gegnosian girl who quietly sat on a little folding stool with a tablet and stylus in hand. She glanced up, blinked her large, slit-pupil eyes, then looked back down at her tablet before sketching. He'd been sitting there, watching her sketch since the early hours of the morning. A soldier will fight long and hard for a piece of coloured ribbon. The quote echoed out of the nothingness in his mind, but this time it dragged forth a semblance of understanding as he looked at the small alien girl's colourful robe. He could tell it was made with care, if not skill. The stitching was uneven but sturdy. The fabric itself was a patchwork quilt of warm, soft material. The thick sash at the waist wasn't the traditional silk-like material from the Gegnosian homeworld, but instead was made of several pieces of thin, patterned ribbon, lovingly sewn together to create a sturdy cord. In this day and age, where you can press a button and have a molecularly identical copy of an item with a single button press, it was heartwarming, to say the least, when he saw parents take the time and effort to make something for their kids. A long drag of his cigarette brought the burning ember to his skin, the pain dragging forth old memories. Stubbing his cigarette out, he looked at the small, circular burn mark that peeked out from beneath his short-sleeved prison jumpsuit. It brought a chuckle to his lips, sitting here as an immortal soul, reminiscing about a childhood he never got to experience. Though, he was glad she got to. Connor was on his feet in a flash when he saw an older Gegnosian man bearing a resemblance to the girl, barreling through the crowd towards her. He was ready to lash out the moment the girl's father got closer, until... The girl's father put a very gentle clawed hand on her shoulder, startling her briefly, a look of deep concern etched into his scaled features. "There you are, Maratan. I'm so sorry, your little brother dragged me off so fast I didn't even realize you hadn't followed." The little girl looked up with a smile and closed her eyes. "It's okay, Taffa. I'm safe here, right?" Connor was startled and misty-eyed as the little girl suddenly looked straight up at him. He knew she couldn't see him, much less hear him, but at the same time he wanted to call out, to tell them both that he would let absolutely nothing harm them as long as he stood watch. He wanted to cry. And soon enough he did, slumping down onto the pedestal as the long-neglected child inside bawled. He pulled his knees to his chest and just watched, deftly, as the little girl prattled and babbled happily to her father. It hurt. It hurt so very much to see her get the childhood he had been so heartlessly deprived of. The sound of the school's morning bell was a distant wake-up call, one Connor couldn't bring himself to answer, as the scars of ages past began to hurt anew. Dozens of red-hot pokers searing into his back and across his shoulders, the snap of an old leather belt, and the smell of stale, artificial tobacco smoke. The deafening crack of a gunshot, the smell of burning propellant. Blood. So much blood. Connor was ripped back to the present by the thought of dredging up the memory in any further detail. He sat up, wiped his nose, and lit another cigarette before tossing down a few pills and stretching out. Almost lost control of myself there. He chuckled softly, the black humor helping him reground himself. Staring at the sky brought him some peace as the pills kicked in, bringing with them an unnatural calm. The small roundabout plaza in front of the school was empty now, perfect for some quiet time to focus on forgetting. Hearing the lunch bell ring, he sat up and wiped some drool from his chin as the little Gegnosian girl sat in front of him again. She opened up a metal lunchbox and set it beside her before pulling out the tablet again. A smile came to his face as she spent her lunch period quietly munching pieces of baked fish and sketching on the tablet. A pair of bird-like things flitted by in the warm springtime air, drawing his attention to the sky for a brief moment. And done. Connor looked down just in time to see the little girl slide the stylus into a slot on her tablet before pressing the screen. A moment later, a small slit on the side opened up on the top edge of the tablet to spit out a woven ribbon made of orange and gold-colored cloth. She set her tablet down and stepped onto the pedestal, standing on her tippy toes to tie the ribbon around the upper bicep of a statue. A soldier will fight long and hard for a piece of colored ribbon. The quote echoed through his head as he looked at his own bicep, the small woven ribbon appearing around it. Slowly standing up, he watched the little girl rush back to the school building when the bell rang. He touched the ribbon now tied around his bicep, and he smiled. I think I understand now.